Hey, Viola Rules here. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So we're about to hear from Officer Meekins about the mystery man in the surveillance video that we watched, which conveniently didn't show his face because the camera positioning was awful in that room. But anyway, let's hear his testimony.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face.
So, sir, if I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? No problem, there's a problem. There's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not be Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. I don't want to do any more prosecution proposals. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Are there strings attached to this? Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
How did this guy ever become a police officer? That's a very good question. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? The light is on the locker. That's suspicious. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir. Do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If the print matches the registered data, the light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Oh, right. The light is on and supposed to be locked and closed. That means it wasn't locked. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. You mean the timestamp I stopped on before? Yeah, we're close enough. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. How did no one notice that? Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know! It must have broken down! Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Wow, this is really advanced technology. Oh well, just goes to show, novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the electronic system?
Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Okay, so here's the evidence that I wanted to present earlier. Okay, that's a good thing I held off.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. Apparently I can't read. The lock wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Okay, and I already know what it is. Fast forward. Stop. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. For some reason there's no sound. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir.
We can't be sure that item was in the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Yeah, exactly. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I've finally got this figured out. Very well, will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? It was the glove that we saw earlier. Yep, rubber glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was the victim's locker, that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL-9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir? It would appear so, sir.
I never thought about it before, but why is Meekin handcuffed to himself? Like his lapel? Like his lanyard or whatever? Order, order, order. So, are we to believe then that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. the victim in this video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. You mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Of course, Edgeworth always has his, witnesses prepare their testimonies in advance. Mystery Man Part 2.
There's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
True. That doesn't really mean anything, though. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. How did you get it? I thought we had it. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room was only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Oh, you don't say.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. I love it whenever the game takes jabs at Phoenix's hair. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Okay. There are a few things that I want to pick at in his testimony. Proves the man was Detective Goodman. To enter this room, one must use their ID card. The ID card is used as a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card. I'm gonna press this just to be on the safe side. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
Maybe he just panicked?
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got.
Okay. And it loops back in on itself. Time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card. Where's that one piece of evidence? This. Now, I'm gonna go for it. Okay, that was correct. Good. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Oh, lost item report. It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? Probably, because he always does. I have only one thing to say to the defense, which is... Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in this evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. That the victim in this video is a fake. And the murder in the evidence room is also fake. No, don't do this to us. In other words, the security camera does not show the instance of the murder. That is... I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed so content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't good. Oh well, it seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. Ah, no. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Uh-oh. Edgeworth always knows how to back us into a corner, doesn't he? I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object, because that's what we always do. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. This is true. And your point is? However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. Yeah, by the way, thanks for giving us that. Because he's the one who gave us the fingerprint kit. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. Prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean?
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? Jake Marshall. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him?
I can't let him know everything just yet.
He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Good cover. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court in recess. Okay, we made it through another part of the trial. By the skin of our teeth, no, like always. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. Well, most things out, yes. I haven't figured anything out. Now, come on, Phoenix, you don't give yourself enough credit.
Lana? You're the one who knows everything.
Emma?
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. It's okay, Gumshoe, come back. Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey. What? I didn't see you there, Miss Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh ho. Stop laughing. You mean this, right? Oh my god, that is a gigantic file. My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. Oh. My name? Oh, never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL-9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL-9 incident?
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Well, thank you. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecution, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Ooh. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? Oh, her name is in the file? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL-9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Oh.
The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No!
Emma, wait. She ran away. Uh-oh. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Okay. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma Skye. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. Okay, we are going back into the trial to be continued, and we will continue this in the next episode. Wow, things are really heating up. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, give it a like. Also be sure to like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter, as well as support my Patreon, and check out my reaction channel. All those links will be in the description below. And subscribe for more. If you are subscribed or a new subscriber right now, be sure to hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload videos. This is Viola Rules, signing off. Talk to you later.